Hi. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's really nice to see you again. I've been thinking about you and how much you've been managing. How has it been this past week for you?
Um, it's been even more crazy since the last time I talked. I just had a recent death in my family, so trying to kind of getting the paperwork done and worried about the money situation if I'm able to go down there and see his funeral. So I'm even more stressed and I don't know if I have the time to take off.
Mm.
So I don't know.
So I'm first of all, condolence to you, in this really hard time. Grief is never something easy for us to process, and I'm happy that you trusted me to share that with me. Yeah, that's very exhausting and still very heavy for you, even heavier than the last time. And it sounds like not much of a break from anything that you've been already going through,
Thank
right?
you.
So the last time we talked about doing trying taking some deep breathing, and even throwing some positive self-talk in the mornings. Were there any moments that you were able to do those? I know you were very busy with everything that's going on, but were there any time that you were able to even indulge in those even a little bit or not at all?
I actually looked at myself in the mirror. I did kind of like deep breaths and
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking in the mirror trying to give positivity. Because I know so like in the morning I said, okay, this day is gonna be a good day.
Mm-hmm.
The sun is shining, birds are singing, maybe my day will be go great. I
Mm-hmm.
started off as that. That's all I got to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
honest.
But well, that makes sense, with everything that's going on. You've been really stretched thin for the week, to say the least. Even thinking about doing something good for yourself or new can feel like it's too much, in the moment, or it's adding to what you're already going through. So I understand that. So shifting the focus after like reviewing my notes and all that we've spoken about, I was looking into like a preliminary diagnosis of what you're going through. It doesn't necessarily mean that's what will be your diagnosis in the end, but it's something to keep in mind, you know. So, um I think we could look into like adjustment disorder with depressive mood, given that you have certain stressors that you've been experiencing over the last 3 months, some key indicators that from what we've spoken about is like your persistent exhaustion, and added to poor sleep, your guilt surrounding your parenting if you're doing it the right way, or and all of this contributes to the impairment to your concentration, your frustration, um, your inability to function properly, with work and even school decision making, and some significant environment stressors like your finances, childcare, and workload have really been factors in your life. Um, while these are so hard, like it sounds big, it's best if we approach them separately, so that you're not overwhelmed by doing too much, at the same time, you have to take on as much as you can, not too much, and given how overwhelming things feel, what feels most important to talk about today? Like we could look more at the stress support or even the decision making on whether if you should continue with school or stop. What feels important to you to talk about today?
Um, I think I think, spending more time, it all kind of combines together. So
Mm-hmm.
to take it all apart, I have to say, work and school and spending more time with my son.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So honestly, with it all being together, I don't even know where to start.
Mm-hmm. What's the most stressful thing around being your parenting? What's been weighing on you mostly?
Guilt,
Mm-hmm.
working so much, I'm school so much that I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm not there to enjoy my son that I should
Mm-hmm.
be.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You could go ahead. You can finish what you were saying.
I just I feel like my son is growing so fast that I'm
Mm-hmm.
missing so much.
Okay. So it's not just like the finance of not being able to afford childcare or, having the extra support. It's mainly you thinking that, okay, I want to go to school, but it's taken away from the opportunity of being like there for your son.
Yes.
Okay. Um, when you think about possibly stopping school, what are some things or opportunity experiences that you think you could be doing that's more beneficial to your son?
Um, I feel like, I have a good job, but I feel like I can have a better job, but then again, I feel like maybe instead of doing full time of
Mm-hmm.
school, maybe I can kind of do part time, do a class or two each semester,
Mm-hmm.
and then spend more time with my son.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe,
Okay.
yeah, um, maybe that's something we can kind of talk more about.
Okay. So given everything you're juggling, I'm hearing someone who's trying really hard, and you've identified ways where you could still go to school and juggling being a mom, a great mom that you're already doing, I'm sure. Not someone who's failing, but someone who is just doing whatever she can to survive and at the same time showing up for the people, in this case your son, that you really care for. So would it be okay if we look at exploring, the option of part going to school part-time and your final decision, like different options to your final decision?
Yeah, yeah, I would definitely be open to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're gonna explore like what are like you could find out. So I want you to work on finding out the options that you have for school. Like,
Okay.
because we could always make decisions now, but they'll give us like a clear idea of what to expect if you go part-time, when are you gonna end, and stuff like that. And also, I'm definitely gonna, with your permission, get your records from your primary care doctor so we could rule everything out, medical history and so forth. And um we could work on that to our next session and see where things go. Then it could help you to make a clearer decision on what route you want to take.
Yeah, that sounds like a great plan. I'll definitely get you whatever you need from my
Mm-hmm.
primary doctor,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll definitely talk to my school advisor to
Mm-hmm.
see about my options for school. I think that'd be
Mm-hmm.
a great idea.
Yeah. And then one question that I want to ask you to look into for our next session is, what do you want your life to look like in a few years? And then you could answer when you come back at our next session.
Yeah, nobody's ever asked me that. So I
Mm-hmm.
definitely would like to take the time to think
Yes.
about this question. It's very meaningful question that I've never even thought to ask myself. So yeah, I will
Yes.
definitely do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. No problem. And then I know we've talked about the breathing exercise, but instead of doing it every day, I want you to practice it when in moments that you feel overwhelmed and
Okay.
frustrated. I think it helps you to ease into your problems better and approach it in a clearer mind.
All right. I will definitely do that.
Yes. So, today, we talked about exploring your option through school. So you'll find out from your school advisor about your options. Um, also, um, you could also continue doing your breathing exercise, but instead of having to do it every day, you're trying to do it in moments that you feel overwhelmed.
Okay.
And then thinking about the question of what do you want your life, your future to look like? What's your ideal look at how your future should be or your expectations?
Yeah, I will definitely do that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So today, after we talked about some how overwhelming things are, saddened by the fact that you lost a family member and you having to deal with that, added to everything else that you're going through, um, we're starting to look at options with school and how you could adjust your schedule so you're spending more time with your son and you're already carrying a lot and you're still showing up, and that's what really matters. Don't ever think like when life gets in the way it's a failure. It's not. It's just you trying to find a balance in between everything. We also spoke about a preliminary diagnosis, and added to that, I'm going to request your primary care history, medical history, so we could rule out a lot of things. But for right now, we're thinking about adjustment disorder, depressed mood. So that's something we will go through together and set our goals based on your symptoms and what you're going through. Does everything sounds okay so far?
Yeah, that sounds like a great goal plan, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yes.
excited for our next time.
And I'm excited too. I look forward to seeing you get the necessary help you need so you could bloom and do just great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hope you have a good rest of the day, and I'll see you at our next session.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.